It'll be what it is.
Okay, are you ready?
I think so.
Welcome, everybody. I think we'll get started because being November, we have elections as well, so we're going to take a few minutes at the beginning for that, plus a few announcements so that I get everything over with, and then Ted has the whole rest of the evening. Okay? So this is our agenda for tonight. It's quite slimmed down. Ted's going to, when I finish, Ted is going to talk for a while, and then we'll have a little break in the middle and come back, and then we'll pepper him with lots of questions. So at this point, I'll ask Steve to come up front and run the elections. You have 2 slides here.
2 slides.
Yeah, I'll give you 2 slides. So you can do it right. Okay?
Perfect. Well, as you can see, we've scared everybody off tonight with mentioning that it was election time. There's many people here, unfortunately. But we will still go through the procedure because we have to do this once a year. There are 4 elected positions that we have to try to fill: chair, vice chair, recording secretary, and treasurer. At the moment, we have a chair and a treasurer. We have been without the other 2 for a whole year now, and even longer for vice chair. But we will give it a try. We've been all kind of changing our hats and filling in for the other positions, so we would like to see some people step up if possible and come in and participate a little bit more. It's actually a great way to meet half of your membership because we have the executive meetings and other things, and we all get to know each other, and some of the surnames we're all looking for and things like that, and we actually trade information back and forth, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's a good way to get to know everybody. We'll start off, I guess, at the bottom with the treasurer. No?
No.
No.
Start off at the top, and if someone wants to be chair, I can move on to something else. Don't leave me in that position.
Well, you're doing a fine job.
I am. Okay, I stand corrected, literally. We will start with the chair. And we'll take any nominations from the floor for that position. If anyone's interested in it, let us know. You feel free to nominate yourself. We are that desperate, yes.
That's scaring us away.
Well, since a couple people weren't here tonight, I threatened to say we'd nominate them for this position. So, yeah. But is there anyone on the floor that would be interested in the position of chair? Basically, what the chair does is, as you saw what Nancy was doing here earlier, she gets up and generally leads the meeting. Quite often, she's the one that sets up the PowerPoint presentation and agenda and things like that too. But if you're not familiar with that program, we can always kick in and help you on that part. But
Training is definitely available.
yeah, there we go.
You won't be left hung out to dry either, because I will certainly mentor you for as long as you need.
She's not going too far.
A year?
Oh, possibly, if needed.
I'll ask a second time. We usually have to do this 3 times to make it official. So, again, are there any nominations for anyone for the position of chair from the floor? Either nominations or self-nominations, or however we want to word this. Don't everybody stand at once.
I nominate Steve.
Steve's been it several times.
I know he has.
I'm past chair. That's why I got this job. The 3rd time. Is there any nominations or anything from the floor here?
Should we ask if our current chair is going to stand again?
Well, we did consider that as well, and I believe she has indicated that she will stand if we cannot get anyone else to fill the position.
It's the last resort?
I'm already in contravention of our bylaws, so.
Yeah, we blew them out last year.
So do we technically need a motion then to nominate Nancy?
No.
Well, it's just an acclamation, I think,
Okay,
more than
okay,
anything else.
okay.
And
Yep.
therefore, I guess, since we've already talked about it, Nancy, I believe if you are still willing,
Yes, yes, yes,
you
yes.
are so deemed to be the chair. Thank you very
Darn,
much.
that means I can't be the recording secretary, guys. Somebody will have to poop up for that one.
Okay, well, we'll move down to vice chair. Vice chair is pretty simple. Basically, the idea is to learn all the stuff you need to know about the branch, so you can hopefully, eventually down the road, move up to the position of chair. They don't have too many set responsibilities, other than if chair goes away on holidays, they will run the meeting if they are available. And again, as Nancy says, there's lots of help. A few of us have been through it before, so we do know the position, and we can always help. So if anyone is interested in the position of chair, or wants to vice chair, well, chair too, you give it up.
Oh, in a heartbeat,
But
yeah.
yes, vice chair, sorry, or wants to nominate someone, please indicate now.
Well, Steve, you could fit into that role quite easily, I think.
I could.
Do you want to?
Steve's
I've got
already.
3 other hats.
He's got 3 hats already.
Yeah.
That's right.
You can't stretch him too thin.
Second time, any nominations from the floor or indications that you're interested in being the vice chair? For a second there, John kind of has his hands up. I thought he was just going for it.
Does that mean he wants to be it, or he's?
No, he was just adjusting his glasses, unfortunately.
It was wishful thinking.
He made it look good because he had them like this. Both hands were kind of up, you know.
Oh, he's overexcited.
Yeah. He had me excited anyways, yeah. And a third try. Any nominations for the position of vice chair? Okay, we will work at finding someone through the executive meetings and things like that. Recording secretary. This is someone to take the minutes of the meeting and the minutes of the executive meeting. So basically, if you can, it'd be nice if you could attend most of those 2 meetings a month. So you'd be looking at about 20 meetings a year. Not quite, because we don't meet once in December, and I think we lose one in the summer somehow too. So if anyone's interested in being the recording secretary, we are looking to fill that position, either if you want to nominate yourself or nominate someone else. And a second try for the position of recording secretary. Are there any nominations? Last chance, number 3. John, you moved again. You're getting going. Okay, recording secretary. Again, we will try and find someone as we go through the year on this. I should have mentioned, I guess, this doesn't start till January. If you're busy in December, it's okay. We don't start till January for the new year. And last and not least, the position of treasurer. Sheila has indicated that she is willing to continue on, but we will also take nominations from the floor, and we'll start with that. That is number 1. Any nominations for treasurer? Going twice, nominations for treasurer. 3 times is a charm. Congratulations, Sheila. The job is yours.
Sheila, how long does it
By
take?
acclamation, that's right.
How long does it take to learn the job?
At least a full year.
About a year.
Yeah, because of all the different requirements.
Oh, you got vice chair, Thursday?
Yeah, it's good for people to know, and you train them, right? Okay.
Okay, here's some other positions that we would like to fill within the branch. They are not elected positions, so we can actually do them anytime during the year, but just to give you an idea of what we need.
I put vice chair in there again? Well,
Yes.
that was a bit
Oh,
weird.
sneaky. Get them one way or the other. Yeah.
You can ignore
Did
that
off,
one.
nothing like this.
We are looking for someone to be our newsletter editor.
Anne has very nicely stepped up as our layout editor for the newsletters, but it would be better if we had someone to take it over and actually actively go after articles and plan the content for the newsletter. So we are very much missing having that filled. It's been a year and a half.
At least, if not 2.5.
Yeah.
Anne's getting tired.
I can believe.
And you don't have to write the articles, you
Not
solicit.
necessarily,
you
no.
solicit
no.
them, yeah.
We just more or less give us a poke sometimes too, because a lot of us has ideas, but we forget that we need to write them. But, and
Yeah, it's the chasing and the planning of themes, if you want to do themed letters and newsletters and just bugging people.
so if you
To
know,
hand
if
things
you're
in.
comfortable using Word or whatever, what do you use again?
I'm using Microsoft Publisher, but you don't have to use that.
No, so some sort of Word program type of thing, Microsoft. If you were handy with that, and would like to give it a try, let us know, or even if you just want to be on the newsletter committee to start with, and work your way up, or out, whichever you decide, let us know that as well, because we can always use an extra hand. Hospitality, same thing. That's our drinks and coffee and cookies, I guess usually it is. We have those 9 times a year.
Have you guys not missed your coffee over the last year? Because if you've missed your coffee and are willing to make the coffee, we welcome you.
Yeah, especially now that we only have to bring most of the stuff from up above down to this floor. We don't have to carry it in from another location or anything like
Yeah.
that.
So what kind of coffee do you make? Do you just use an ordinary coffee maker, or is it a big urn?
We do have, I think, a 30-cup urn, but usually a smaller coffee maker would be fine. I think at this point, the 12-cupper would probably be fine.
It seems to me we might even have the small
I
one
got a
upstairs.
feeling we do too.
And we have a kettle too for tea
Yeah.
And a kettle for tea.
and hot chocolate.
It just needs somebody that's here a little bit early to get the water boiling and things like that.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested in that, please let Nancy or Ann or myself know, or Dan, anyone on the executive. Programming. We're looking for someone to help with Joyce with programming. She's been doing it a long time, and her previous helper is... Yeah, she needs a little extra to help and
Yeah, and new ideas.
new ideas. That's
Yep.
always something too. And sometimes just reading some of the other newsletters gives us an idea of people we can look for and contact and things like that.
So Joyce, it's okay phoning, you're good with that, but it's seeing your screen, is it? Your computer screen?
Yeah, it's when I have to do the advertising.
Oh, right. And type stuff on the screen. Do you have one of those
I
big...
find it's easier to phone anyway because you can get settled in 5 minutes, what would take about 10 emails.
I agree.
So if anyone would like to help Joyce with the programming, please let us know. And we're looking for a couple of members at large. Basically, they have no actual title on the executive, but we want to bring in some new blood, get some new ideas, etc., etc. Sometimes they work up into other positions, sometimes they just stay members at large, etc. That's too many et ceteras, but okay.
Yeah. It's to refresh the committee and get new ideas in. So if you've got ideas or even questions on how things run and why don't we do something different, feel free to talk to us and come on out.
Okay, I guess that pretty much
Declare it closed.
declare it closed. Thank you for, both of you, for carrying on.
The reason I'm joking about this a little bit is I do have other hats, so if someone took the chairman position off me, or perhaps the cemeteries off me, it would help. But at any rate, on we go. Reverend Sandra at the Northminster Church here has asked me to mention their White Gift Sunday. It's not till December the 8th. I've got some brochures here. And basically what it's about is there's 9 community local organizations that the church supports. And in here they have a list of those organizations' needs and what you could possibly donate. They're actually asking the congregation to bring the gift unwrapped, but with a label on it for which organization they want to donate it. And I'm sure the office would take a donation from anybody here ahead of time too. You wouldn't necessarily have to attend the church service. So over here on the side during the break you can have a look at the local organization that the church supports. Another thing that I want to mention is the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, the Family History Center that we use here in Oshawa. And I'm sorry I don't have a slide of this, but they're doing on the 9th, which is that Sunday?
Monday, you said that was Sunday the 8th?
Okay.
Saturday, November 9th, right?
No, that was December the 8th. This is November 9th.
November, okay.
Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah.
They're having a concert of remembrance. And they show I think that's the D-Day landing in World War II in their picture.
It's American.
Yeah.
So the church, right?
But the guests are the Oshawa Civic Band, Young Singers, O'Neill Chamber Choir, and Rick Patterson Piper. It's free. It will be at the church at Rossland and Thornton. Have I got that right? Yes. At 7 o'clock. So,
Can you hold that up a bit? Just to focus in. Okay.
so I'll leave this on the side table as well if you want to come and have a look at it or take a photo with your phone so you have the details.
Thank you.
Okay. We had a very successful day of learning, October 19th, and I'd like to give a personal thanks to all those who helped out. Steve and Deb and who am I missing? Ann and Dan. And Joyce, because she was on the committee and gave us ideas, etc., etc. So I really appreciate it. Now, it's membership renewal time. And the special Grow Our Family is back. So if you get a member to sponsor you, both you and the member get 50% off. You have to have not been a member of OGS for the last 2 years, 2018 and 2019, in order to get this special. It only runs from now to 12:45 p.m. on December 15th. They tried to do December 31st and it just blew the office out of the water because they just couldn't figure things out. So I guess lunchtime on December 15th works for their office flow.
The office party starts at 1.
Yes.
Then they're on vacation.
So why would you want to be a new member of OGS? Well, boy, we have a lot of member advantages. They've done a lot of good negotiation in the last several years. Free Ontario Ancestor webinars. Now, the webinars are actually free when they're live, but they're recorded and they're available in the members only section. If you miss one, then you can get it and replay it all year. You get a 50% discount on Legacy Family Tree webinars, which is a fabulous site, I forget how many webinars they have in their library now, like 200 or 300. And they're starting, since they've been bought out by MyHeritage, they're starting to have webinars in other languages, so that's very interesting. Oh, here, I've got a note here. 900 webinars that they have already in their library. MyHeritage Library Edition is only $15 for the year, and there's discounts on the National Institute of Genealogical Studies courses, and there's much more. I know I believe there's a hotel chain there's a discount on, and I think car rentals and a whole bunch of stuff like that. If you renew and/or register as a new member, in November, you'll be entered in the draws. Prizes include DNA kits, Ancestry and MyHeritage subscriptions, Family Tree Maker 2019, Roots Magic 7 with an upgrade for 8, Ontario Ancestors memberships, that's the OGS is now called Ontario. They're also using Ontario Ancestors name. The Quebec Genealogical E-Society memberships and lots more. So, well worth getting your renewal in early. This month's webinar is particularly interesting for people who have DNA kits. We actually had Morris Gleason speak at our June meeting 3 years ago, something like that. He's an excellent speaker, and it will be probably a really good session to watch. He's going to talk about how to work with your DNA matches, especially if you see you've got hundreds of matches. It's kind of nice to figure out how to cut through all that, where to start. And by the way, our DNA special interest group is meeting the third Wednesday, that's November 20th, at the branch office. And this is something you usually see at the end of the meeting, but I'm doing it now so we can go quickly to Ted. December is the usual bring and brag and potluck goodies. January will be our brick wall busters, and Steve is putting in a plug that he'd like to get those problems sent in early so he can work on them. So that'll be good. And February, we've got Jennifer Waymark from the Oshawa Museums and Archives talking about letters from the trenches, and I believe that's World War I. And don't forget, we have a branch library up, what is it, 2.5 half floors? I call it the third floor. I don't know whether it really is or not. And we're open the third and fourth Friday of each month, and we picked Friday because that's when the parking lot is the least crowded. From 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Or if you can't do that and you get a hold of Steve, Steve can set up an appointment with you. And it's also open 45 minutes before the meeting starts here on the first Tuesday of each month. And having said that, we're going to go to our guest speaker. So let's hear a little bit about Ted. Ted, he's not a soldier, but he's a soldier's storyteller. He's not a veteran, but he's recognized by vets as the keeper of the flame. He has published 18 books, half of them wartime histories. He's worked as a broadcaster for 40 years. Have you retired yet?
I retired from teaching, and I'll explain that as part of my presentation.
Okay. He's taught journalism at Toronto Centennial College for 18 years. His book, On the Great Escape, won the 2014 Libris Award as the best nonfiction book in Canada. And his last book but one, with Dam Busters, and he has that one here, won the 2018 RCAF Association NORAD trophy. So let's give a big welcome to Ted.
Thank you very much.